What's poppin', Kabalen? Good evening, guys. So, good evening to all. I would just like to say sorry kasi last Saturday po, hindi ako nakapag-live. It is because namatayan po kami. My lola, dad's mom, passed away last June 17. So, hindi po ako nakapag-live. And I would just like to take this opportunity first to thank all our prayer warriors. Lahat po ng nagdasal sa daddy ko, even though this is recorded naman to, so later makikita nyo naman po itong video na to. So, yon. My dad po is nagkasakit siya abroad, and ang dami pong tumulong sa aming mag-pray for my dad kasi last live ko po, hiningi ko rin naman na ipagdasal niyo yung daddy ko. And now, my dad is recovering. All right. So, thank you so much po for all your prayers. Yung mga prayer warriors, especially sa mga paren and madre na friends ni Ate Nora Cano Bonifacio, Ami Bautista, and Reggie Bontogon. Thank you so much, family and friends. Thank you for all your support and prayers. So, this month, June, is a Pride Month. So we will celebrate Pride Month ngayong sineselebrate natin yung Pride Month ngayong June. So I decided to call a friend and magtanong ng sino kaya ang pwedeng i-guest sa ating Pride Month special dito sa What's Poppin' Kabalen, of course, of BJ Bontogon. And that's me. And napag-isip-isip ko while I'm browsing my alter account sa Twitter, I saw a tweet of Justin Dizon. Justin Dizon po ay isang youth advocate and LGBTQ advocate. So, lahat ng LGBT rights, ayan, nakikita ko sa mga tweets niya. And he is also active sa very opinionated, or should I say, parang social responsible. Alright? So, meron siya mga thoughts, ideas, opinions sa mga decision ng ating administration and kung ano ang nangyayari sa ating surroundings or environment. So now, I am welcoming my friend, magiging friend ko na. Let us all welcome Justin Dizon. Good evening, Justin. Hello.
Hello, oh my god. I'm eating my cookie. Hi. We're live? Are we live?
Yes, we're
Hello.
live. Hi, Justin.
Hello, everyone.
So,
What's up?
say hi naman sa mga viewers natin. Justin.
Hi to all the viewers of Byron. Happy Pride to all of you. So, ayun, I hope all is well. I hope you're all safe in the pandemic. And wag muna kayo lumabas kung hindi naman kailangan. And I hope you're all safe and sound in your houses.
Alright. So actually, pinaghandaan ko to eh. Wala na akong ibang rainbow color na damit. Sabi ko, I need to choose color medyo colorful and medyo bright naman. So, alright. So I chose to wear this one na medyo colorful, like rainbow color, which symbolizes the LGBTQ community.
Yep.
So, you've got Justin, very opinionated and socially responsible, like what I've said a while ago, about sa mga issues. And lagi kang nare-red flag because of your opinion. So, should I, tama ba na i-ask ko na i-clear lang natin sa mga manonood na, are you an activist? Or are you proud to say that you are an activist?
I am, no? I've been asked that several times, like if you are an activist, and I'm saying yes. Yes, I am an activist because I fight for different causes that are close to my heart. And activism is not illegal. Activism is not terrorism. Anybody can be an activist, and the entire freedom that this country sits on is because of activism.
Yes. And we all know na gaano ka-importante ang mga active simula panahon ng siniston. So, I know that you have anti-terrorism bill, pero ngayon kasi, dahil it's Pride Month, we'll talk about Pride Month. So,
Okay.
of course, we'll talk Soji bill, the history of Pride Month, and
Yes.
everything. So, the Pride Month history, actually, 51 years na siya tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
51st year ng
Yes.
Pride March sana. June 20, 1969, if I'm not mistaken. Diba?
Yes.
Sa
In New York.
Stonewall
In New York. Yes.
Village, New York, right? And
Yes.
ang daming tao na kasama doon. Like the mother of Pride, Brenda Howard, and si Marsha Johnson,
Marsha
right?
Johnson. Yes.
Actually, um, dati, sorry, hindi nagbabawal, parang tutulig sa, yung, actually, napunta sila sa street na yon because of maraming gays, doon talaga yung center ng mga, actually, iniisip ko nga, pag sinabi mong gays act, parang nakapasok na lahat doon yung LGBT. Am I right?
Well, yeah, to some people, pero I think the more politically correct term would be LGBT siguro kasi the word gay is just a part of it. It's not like the entirety pa. Since it's really a spectrum, di ba kaya siya rainbow because there's really a lot of colors in it.
Yes. Noong 1970, after the Stonewall riot na nangyari noong 1969, yung first Pride Month is 1970, which is yung slogan ng Pride March is power. What can you say about that?
Well, kasi naman, yung nangyari, hold on, sorry, yung cookie ko. Yung nangyari noong 1969 kasi, just to give the people a brief background of the history of Pride, it happened back in 1969 because there was this bar in Stonewall Inn. It's somewhere in New York, in Greenwich Village. There is a bar there where
Stonewall Bar.
yes, it caters to the most marginalized members of the LGBT community. That includes the butch lesbians, the effeminate young men, yun yung mga parang quote and quote, yung tinatawag nila mga Barbie, yung mga male prostitute, yung mga transgender women, mga drag queen, mga homeless people. So that's like their safe space at the time. And then during that time, mga 1960s, 1950s, 1960s, there was an anti-gay legal system. Parang at the time, it would be a crime to be gay. Kaya meron silang safe space, no? That's the Stonewall Inn. And then nag-start yung riots, yung uprising when dumating yung mga police. So they started arresting people and hurting people. And on that night, yung June 20, when was it again? June 26, I think. I forgot. Basta sometime in June.
June 28.
Basta sometime in June 1969, they fought back. So that started the Stonewall uprising.
Alright. Okay. They said, nung that time, parang merong lumabas na gay is good and black is beautiful. Diba?
Yeah.
Ganon. Gay is good and black na ito naman sa hashtag nung idea beautiful. Ang daming nagko-contradict or ang daming kumokontra about sa LGBT and we cannot do anything about that. It's their opinion. But hello, it's 2020 and we need acceptance. Tama ba na pinanghihingi or pinampalimos na natin sa kanila ang acceptance, Justin?
Oh no, actually, there are a lot of opposition on the LGBTQ community. Mostly, these people kasi are not really open-minded in the sense na kasi if you're gonna put it this way, our society in general is heteronormative. When pag sabi mo hetero, it means opposite sex. It means straight. Normative, yun yung normal. So basically, our society,
Ah,
yung normal, yung tama is maging straight. So if you're not straight, you are abnormal. Ganun yung, that's how society sees it. But you're going to ask the question na ano bang pinagkaiba ng mga straight sa mga LGBT. I mean, we're all human beings anyway. We are protected by the same laws. We live, for example, in the Philippines, we live in the same country. We also pay taxes. So what's the difference? If you're going to use religion, if you're going to use the word of the Lord or the word of God or some other religious creature, we are all creations of God. So what's the difference? How are they superior, 'di ba? So yun ang problem kasi hindi pantay yung tingin. Ganun siya. And I don't
okay.
think that's right.
Um, Justin, we are talking about discrimination kasi. Diba? It really
Yes.
boils down sa discrimination.
Oo.
So, can you please share kung sabi mo sa discriminate ka na ba dahil sa
Sorry.
gender mo?
Sorry. Come again. Sorry.
Na-discriminate ka na ba dahil sa gender?
Actually, no. I haven't been like personally discriminated on the basis of my gender. I mean, kasi ganito yan eh. Dyan pumapasok yung intersectionality ng ng gender or ng soji. Kasi ganito, I'll put it this way kasi you asked me if I was already discriminated on the basis of my gender. Hindi pa. Kasi, look,
Alright.
yung kasi yung sa discrimination, factor din kasi dyan yung class mo. Yung kung anong katayuan mo sa buhay. First of all, I mean, modesty aside, hindi naman kami mahirap. I come from a middle-class family. That's number one. Number two, I am educated. Nakapag-aral ako, nakapagtapos ako ng college. If you're gonna look at it, yung mga tao, especially the LGBT community, mas vulnerable sa discrimination yung mga tao na first, yung walang ganong pera, yung nasa baba ng poverty line. Kasi given the fact na mahirap sila, that is already one blanket of oppression. That's like one layer of oppression already. Kaya, since low income ka, hindi ka ganong mapera, that already renders you vulnerable. Pangalawa, hindi naman lahat may access to education, hindi lahat nakapagtapos, hindi lahat marunong or hindi lahat edukado or something like that. That is another layer of oppression that they can use against you. Siguro, as for me, kaya hindi ko siya talaga na-experience personally kasi yun nga, because of my social status na hindi naman ako galing sa low income na family, and pangalawa, because I have my education with me. What I'm saying is, hindi ako easy target for discrimination. But I am not saying that I am totally immune from discrimination. And I also want to say that there are a lot of people out there who are experiencing discrimination. This is why we fight. This is why we demand equal rights. Kasi maraming nadi-discriminate. Hindi porket hindi mo siya nararanasan, wala ka nang pakialam. Ganon siya. Kasi ako, hindi ko siya nararanasan, pero hindi ibig sabihin na wala na akong pakialam.
Alright. Justin, ifo-focus namin muna sa iyo so that I just need parang sa comments parang medyo mabagal yung net ko. We'll just refresh my phone. Pero parang hindi mo pa silang bigyan about equality. Parang sinasabi nila na anong equality na ang hinihingi ng LGBTQ. Alright? So mabilis lang naman to. Parang 10 seconds lang.
So you're gonna be gone and I'm staying now on my own. Okay.
Alright, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, guys, a lot of you kasi have been asking na parang, what kind of equality does the LGBT community is asking? Kasi a lot of people are saying na, for example, na the LGBT community is asking for so much. The LGBT community wants so much. Ang daming demand, ang daming gusto. First of all, usually nanggagaling yan sa mga tao na hindi naman member ng LGBT community to begin with. Kasi ang problem here is, dahil hindi nyo nararanasan yung oppression, wala na kayong pakialam. Let's give one example. One good example about the concept of equality. Magbigay tayo ng halimbawa. Yung mga straight couples, opposite sex couples, they get to marry one another, they get to build a family, they get to have conjugal rights. Yung kung ano yung pag-aari ni Mister, pag-aari yun ni Mrs., something like that. They get to have children. And then, for example, nagkasakit yung isang partner, merong karapatan itong partner niya na mag-decide, na magdesisyon. Basically, if namatay, meron din siyang karapatan sa katawan, kung paano ililibing, kung saan ililibing, saan ibuburol, whatsoever. Okay, that, and they can have children. They get to have, children of their own. Okay, let us look at the LGBT couples. I've seen a couple. I'm not going to mention their names, but I've seen this story. It's real. Magjowa sila for quite some time. I think more than 10 years already na silang couple. Ngayon, dalawang lalaki ito. Yung isa namatay because of cancer. And yung partner niya, yung partner na buhay pa, which yung family ng guy na namatay recognizes the partner. Legal sila basically sa family. When the guy died of cancer, yung partner niya walang rights at all. He cannot even see the body of his partner. And that partner niya for how many years? You built your life with that person. That person is your better half. Yun yung kabiyak mo, yun yung katuwang mo sa buhay. But nung namatay siya, you can't even see his body. You can't even decide simply because you're not family. The law does not say that you are family. Tapos, halimbawa, let's give another example. For example, merong dalawang
parang you mean parang yung sa story ng Justin, yung sa story ng Die Beautiful. Parang
I haven't seen Die Beautiful yet.
Parang hindi ganito kasi yung story na parang hindi payag ang family about sa gender nung nila, so gay siya. Yeah. And then pinaglaban ng friends niya na nung namatay siya, hindi pa nila mapunta yung bangkay kasi parang ayaw naman talaga nilang i-accept kung anak nila na gay. Yeah. At nung namatay siya, gusto nilang kunin. So parang gano'n.
Okay. And siguro I'm going to give another example ng concept of equality then. For example, merong magjowa na lesbian or lesbian couple. And then the other partner got into an accident. Nadala siya sa hospital. And then the partner goes to the hospital because it's an emergency. This partner that will go to the hospital para i-check yung partner niya kasi na-aksidente nga will not even be allowed to see her or to make decisions kasi hindi siya family. Regardless, kahit pa ilang taon na silang magka-partner niyan. That is just one example of how unequal it is, no? Kasi they're saying, kasi ang usual argument kasi is this. Ang sabi ng Bible, ganito. Ang sabi ng simbahan, ganito. Ang sabi nito, God created man and woman. Ang sabi nito, God created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, something like that. First, we have to go back to our history lessons. Yung Christianity, it's just one religion, di ba? Na dinala ng mga Espanyol in the Philippines. And prior to the arrival of the Spaniards in the 1500s, meron ng native culture yung mga Filipinos. And if you're going to ask yourself, what is the purpose of a union? Diba? It's to build a family, it's to have a partner, it's to forge a partnership, something like that. Ngayon, yung religion, dumating yan 1500s, di ba? So it was just introduced to us by the Spaniards. So, but prior to that, bago pa ba dumating yung mga Espanyol, wala pa bang mag-asawa noon? Or meron na? Also, second thing is, Christianity is not the only religion that exists in the world. Number 3, in as far as the Philippines is concerned, hindi lahat ng Pilipino ay Katoliko. Hindi lahat ng Pilipino ay Kristiyano. Hindi lahat ng Pilipino ay Iglesia ni Cristo. Hindi lahat ng Pilipino ay Muslim, etc., etc., etc. But these Filipinos are all Filipinos protected by the law. And the law says equal protection, 'di ba? So yun yung yun yung argument sa equality. Yun yung lagi pinagtataluhan natin yung Bible, yung sinabi ni Lord, whatsoever. I mean, not everyone is bound by a religion. And as far as unions are concerned, hindi naman humihingi yung LGBT community ng kasal sa simbahan where there's a priest and then merong baduy na hashtag and then you need the blessing whatsoever. What they need are civil rights. Yung sa mata ng batas, mag-asawa sila, so meron silang karapatan sa bawat isa, pwede silang mag-ampon ng mga anak, bumuo ng pamilya, they can, yung mga pinundar nila, pwede nilang pagsamahin and all. That's what the LGBT community wants, not a church wedding.
Okay. Actually, I just want to share one thing na hindi ko makakalimutan. And na-discriminate ako in a way dito sa story ko.
What happened?
No? Hindi talaga ako really na-discriminate. But my university, way back in college, no? I'm with my parents, my dad, my ever-supportive dad and my ever-supportive mom. Tinulungan nila ako para maghanap ng dormitories.
Okay.
Alright. So, merong dormitory itong university ko. Alam ko naman, Justin, alam ko itong kung saan ako nag-aral, right? May dormitory to. And then, so, ang sabi nila sa akin, meron pa available na dorm.
Okay.
Meron pang available na dorm.
Okay.
Okay, we'll take it. Pay it.
Yes.
I'll need to have my reservation on it. Tapos, nung nakita nila kung sino ang ang
occupy
titira doon sa dorm,
okay.
which is me.
Okay.
Nung nakita nila, sabi nila, ayun na, nung hindi pa nakikita, sabi nila na meron pa available. Nung nakita nila ako, bigla daw wala na.
Dahil?
So, ako, hindi naman ako ganoon. I think because of my gender.
Oh, God. It's so
That's
terrible.
So, yun. Pero ako, I don't really care. Diba? Wala naman sa akin yon.
Yes.
So, a few years ago, nung parang last year lang yata, nag-post ako that discrimination story of mine. And then, yung mga editor-in-chief dati sa university na yon, nag-message din sa akin na marami daw palang incident na gano'n na nangyari. So, dun ako parang feel ko na discriminate kasi parang ayaw kong ipa-feel sa mga susunod sa akin kasi ako okay lang eh. Okay lang sa akin eh. Pwede na akong humanap ng ibang dormitories.
Yes.
Diba? Hello, I'll pay for it naman. Magbabayad naman ako. May pambayad naman ako ng dormitory. So, bakit ayaw akong ipag-dorm dun sa ganon? Bakit meron pa silang policy about anyway, so sabi ko lang na baka pwede kayong gumawa ng article na ganyan na marami din palang ganyan para lang malaman nila na it's really existing sa university na yun. Anyway, it really boils down with respect, diba, Justin?
Correct.
It really boils down with respect. We are talking about the anti-discrimination bill or SOGI bill and laging respect. Last few days ago, nag-live yung kay Kevin Ballot. Nood mo ba with the beauty queens?
Yeah, I did. I saw it.
What's your say? Anong stand mo doon?
Before I go to the Kevin Ballot topic, I wanna ask you, yung bang dormitory na in-applyan mo in the past for as a resident, is that an all boys dorm?
No. Ah, meron siyang pang boys, meron siyang pang parang separate yung boys sa female, parang ganun.
Yeah, so basically you're with the boys.
Yeah.
Basically you're gonna be with the boys. Okay. Ang impression ko dito is this. Since you're gonna be, ano yan, solo ka ba sa room or may roommate ka? May roommate ka?
Sorry, what again?
May roommate ka ba sa dorm na yun if ever you get in there? Do you have a roommate?
Parang meron, pero hindi ko talaga siya alam eh. Pero ang sinabi nila sa akin, marami pang available. Pero hindi ko alam kung may
Okay.
kasama ako
You know what? You know the reason why?
Parang ganun.
You know you know the reason why they did what they did?
What?
Yung stereotype, yung toxic, basurang stereotype
Yeah,
na lahat ng mga bakla ay pag-iinteresahan ng mga straight, which is not true. Pwede ba? Kadiri. Hindi lahat ng bakla, hindi lahat ng bakla ganyan. Please. That's so toxic, ha? Tell that dormitory to
wala pa akong alam sa ganyan. Wala pa akong, alam mo yun?
Yeah.
Galing ako dito sa Makabebe and then I'll go to Atlas. Ano namang alam ko? Diba?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm asking you, Justin, about your stand-in ni Kevin Balot
Yeah.
about sa challenge
This is, yeah.
International pageantry.
Yeah, I've seen this before. Kasi, di ba sabi niya, against siya sa pag-join ng trans women in pageants for women. Kasi raw it should be reserved for natural-born women. That's very disappointing, especially it came from a trans woman like Kevin. First, kasi again, we go to intersectionality of Soji. When you say intersectionality, kasi may mga, kumbaga, maraming factors. Parang so it meets there. I'm surmising kasi, si Kevin, may pera yan eh, di ba? Hindi naman siya mukhang mahirap eh. I think Kevin has money. Don't you think?
Yes.
Okay. Ngayon, kasi being a member of the LGBT community is already one layer of oppression. Kasi ang LGBT community, it is inherently marginalized. Kasi nga, di ba, ang LGBT community, abnormal yan, sabi ng ating heteronormative society. So being LGBT is already one layer of oppression. Being poor is another layer of oppression. Ngayon, if we're gonna look at it, 'di ba ang perception ng society sa mga trans women ay nagpa-parlor, nagsasalon, taga-makeup, taga-manicure, taga-pedicure, and all that. Why? Why do they perceive that to the trans women? Kasi they're low income. And these are the people who are more vulnerable to oppression. Itong si Kevin, for example, yung ignorance niya sa topic na yan, dahil blinded siya of her privilege. Kasi dahil, okay, gets naman na trans woman siya, but since she has money, hindi siya kasing oppressed nung mga walang pera. So, hindi niya ganong ramdam yung oppression na nafe-feel ng ordinary trans woman. Alam mo yon? Tapos, yung nakakaano din doon, parang, when Pia, kasi di ba Pia said there na parang sabi ni Pia na parang, yung may-ari nga, gusto yon. Anong magagawa namin? Yun yung gusto ng may-ari. I mean, di ba? MUO approved that since 2012. Pwede nang sumali yung mga trans woman. If the organizers want that, what can you do? Pero yung akin lang kasi, nakakalungkot for Kevin, para siyang meron siyang internalized transphobia. Meaning to say, member siya ng community, pero siya mismo, meron siyang, alam mo yon, parang discrimination. Kasi, to be clear, trans women are women. Trans women are women. They were assigned probably male at birth, but they are women. And parang yun, period. Trans women are women. And I'd also like to add now, since we're on the
Yes.
topic of on the topic of trans women, if ang isang lalaki ay may jowa or dinidate na trans woman, that does not make him gay. Why? Because a trans woman is a woman. Period. That's just it. Ganun siya. And yung sinabi ni Kevin Balot, I totally
Yeah.
disagree with it. It's ignorant. Purely ignorant.
Yes, I got your point. Actually, 2 days ago, we are debating about this topic, about yung kay Kevin Balot. Sabi ko, all right, I respect her decision. I respect her, pero paano tayo magsusuportahan tayong nasa tayong LGBT, 'di ba? Kung iba't iba yung thoughts natin. I just wanna say that gender is fluid,
That's
right,
correct.
Justin?
That's
Gender
correct.
is fluid.
That's correct.
Uh, um, hindi lang siya alam mo may mga ideas na bata ka pa lang, alam mo na you are girl and you don't consider yourself as even gay, pero babae,
Yeah.
'di ba?
Yeah.
Minsan na-discriminate sila pag tinatawag silang bakla because gusto nilang marinig na they are girl kahit na pinanganak silang lalaki.
Mm-hmm.
Tama?
Yes.
So, mahaba-habang usapin to. We need research from psychology, from whatever, different field,
I
para lang
agree.
mapag-usapan ito. Pero kasi ako, Justin, I really don't, kasi walang yes na gender for me.
I'm sorry, can you come again?
Ang
Medyo
girl
choppy.
pwedeng maging lalaki, ang boy pwedeng maging babae. Sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, I can.
Okay. I mean, sa akin talaga, gender fluid. I mean, wala talagang gender. Bahala na. Kasi I respect naman kahit anong gusto mong maging gender, okay. So, my next question, gaano ka-important yung gender classification?
How important it is. Are we going to the topic of Soji now?
Yeah.
So
Not
we're gonna
really. What is just your opinion about that?
on what? Opinion on what?
Gaano kasi, di ba, we do have LGBTQ, di ba?
Yes,
Tapos,
yes.
masyado nila tayong nani-discriminate about that, about sa being member ng LGBTQ
Yes.
community. So, what is your lagi kasing discrimination na lang because of gender. So, ano ba, is there a gender hierarchy dahil babae sila at lalaki at tayo ay miyembro ng LGBT at kailangan sila ang mag-dominate? What do
Oh
you
no. Actually we're all equal. Pantay tayo. No, there is no sexuality or gender that's superior to the other. I mean, we're all naman eh. Yan ang kaya we're fighting for equality because we're all the same. So walang superior gender, walang superior na sexuality at all. We're all created equal. Kaya wala talaga. Although what's saddening is that our society is patriarchal na parang ang mga lalaki ang superior. Ang lalaki ang mas magaling, mas matalino, mas malakas, mas capable. And that's something that we should also break.
ask lang natin yung mga viewers natin if they do have a question so that i-type nyo po yung mga questions nyo para masagot natin ni Justin later.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll tackle about Justin, the Sochi bill, the pinakamabagal na bill sa history ng Philippines. Diba?
Yeah.
Ang tagal.
It's the longest.
Ang bagal.
I think 20 years na. So G Quality Bill has been
What
there
can you say
for
about that?
kasi first there's been a lot of sorry.
Sabi ni Tito Soto, Senator Tito Soto, Justin, hindi daw mapapasagad siya ang Senate President.
Well, I cannot disagree with that because the the vote of the Senate President is very important. Given that Tito Soto is a conservative, talagang mahirap yan. Kasi we have to also look at the political climate that we have because the SOGI Equality Bill is a very liberal move. Diba? But most of our senators are conservative. Let's count some. Manny Pacquiao, Tito Soto,
Manny Pacquiao,
Villar, Villanueva. So there are already a lot of problems with that. And we also have to put into consideration yung gray areas. Definitely the church has a lot of influence on our politicians and our decision makers. So syempre, you also have to consider that the politicians need to please the church because the church brings votes every time may election. So, yan din yun eh. Kasi tandaan mo, ang mga politician natin, most of them put self-interest above all. So if voting for the SOGI Equality Bill means losing their votes, losing their position, losing power, they won't vote for it. Anyway, in as far as the bill is concerned, marami kasing there's been a lot of opposition on the bill kasi raw sabi kasi ni Tito Soto, it's a class legislation daw in which he is wrong.
Yes.
Because the SOGI Equality Bill is a safeguard against discrimination and it applies to all. Kasi if you're going to define it, what does SOGI stand for? So we go to the first SO, sexual orientation. Sexual orientation basically means kung kanino ka na-attack. Physically, kung kanino mo gusto makipag-sex. Emotionally, kung kanino ka na-in love. So that can be classified as homosexual, heterosexual, bisexual, pansexual, asexual. And then next, GI is gender identity. Gender identity kasi is introspective in nature. Kung introspective in nature, ibig sabihin, ikaw yung magde-decide how you identify yourself. For example, you may be born with a penis, you have a penis, and then your hormones, testosterone, but you identify yourself as a woman. Pwede yun. That's gender identity.
Yes.
You may be born with a vagina, ovaries, you have estrogen and progesterone, but you identify yourself as a man. Pwede yun. That's gender identity. That's introspective in nature. Only you can decide how do you want to identify yourself. And then the last, letter E, expression. How you express yourself. Pwede yung masculine, pwedeng feminine, pwedeng androgynous. Ano ka ba? Matigas ka ba? Brusko ka ba? Lalim ba yung boses mo? Pag nananamit ka, yung polo shirt na panglalaki, yung maong, ganyan? Or malambot ka ba kumilos? Malambot ka ba magsalita? Yung bang damit mo, yung feminine, like color pink, yung mga ganon? Or androgynous, you can do both. That's gender expression. Ngayon, kasi sinasabi nila, yung SOGI daw, para lang sa LGBT community. The question is, sure ka ba doon? Kasi every single person has a SOGI, even if you're straight. Kasi for example, if let's give an example for let's say there's a guy named Pedro. Pedro is straight. Meron siyang girlfriend. Gusto niya lalaki siya. He identifies as a man. So si Pedro nagkakagusto, gusto niya makipag-sex sa babae. Nai-in-love siya sa babae. So, anong sexual orientation niya? Heterosexual siya kasi babae lang ang gusto niya. Opposite sex lang. That's his SO. Ngayon, si Pedro identifies himself, that's his SO na, that's his sexual orientation na. Kasi gusto niya babae lang, opposite sex lang. O ngayon, Pedro identifies himself as a man. Man siya. That's how he identifies himself. So, yun ang kanyang gender identity. Ngayon, si Pedro, malalim ang boses, matigas ang boses. Pag nananamit, yung polo, pantalon, shoes, yung very masculine. Si Pedro, matigas kumilos. That's his gender expression. So basically, si Pedro, even if he is straight, he has a soji. And yun ang hindi naiintindihan kasi ng marami na if the soji equality bill is just for the LGBT community, giving the LGBT community special treatment or something like that. But it's not true at all. Every single person in the Philippines or in the world has a soji.
Yes. Very educational yung pinag-uusapan natin ngayon. And of course, dahil knowledgeable ka, nagkaka-idea yung mga tao kung ano nga ba yung Soji Bill, ano nga ba yung mga gender like our gender identity and expression, mga ganon. Anyway, gaano, dahil nag-share tayo ng mga thoughts na ganito, Justin.
Yes.
Do you think being knowledgeable about different aspects about sa gender can help them against some abusive acts? Pag discriminate sila.
Definitely. It can, kasi the fact na you're knowledgeable, you have a power. Kasi diba knowledge is power. Totoo naman yun eh. But, being aware, being knowledgeable about SOGI, for example, what SOGI stands for, what SOGI means. Being knowledgeable is power, it's good. But it can only do so much because the SOGI Equality Bill, the law, is not there to protect us, to protect the people. Like for example, halimbawa, no, meron isang bakla, alam niya yung SOGI, alam niya yung ibig sabihin ng SOGI, alam niya by heart, yung kaya niyang i-discuss at any time, at any forum, alam niya. O ngayon, for example, sa trabaho niya, sinisante siya, tinanggalan siya ng trabaho dahil bakla siya. And if that happens, wala siyang laban kasi there's no law that will protect him. That's one of the things that the SOGI Equality Bill provides, that you cannot be removed from your work just because you're gay or you're lesbian or whatever. I mean, sige, that person who lost his job, alam niya anong ibig sabihin ng SOGI, fine, he knows what it means. But the question is that yung knowledge niya can only do so much. But since there's no law that will protect him, what can the knowledge do? Diba?
Grabe yung usapan natin. Sobrang ang dami kong napulot na knowledge. Even yung mga viewers natin, Justin, we still have 3 minutes 3 minutes bago mag-11. Usually kasi nag-end yung live ko ng 11 p.m.
Yeah, sure. Hanggang 12, okay lang.
Do you have any message sa mga gustong mag-out or 'di ba sa mga hindi pa nag-out, sa mga viewers natin ngayon, sa mga members ng LGBT? What is your message to them?
Okay, ano to? Is this like my closing statement na ba or something like that?
Yes.
Okay. To wrap the things up, para ma-wrap up natin siya. First, yung pride, kasi ito yung una, actually, hindi ko alam ilan tong bibilangin ko. First, ang dami nagsasabi, bakit yung mga LGBT, bakit meron kayong Pride March? Bakit meron kayong Pride Month? Yung mga straight, wala namang ganyan. Dapat may straight, dapat may straight month din, may straight pride din, or something like that. The reason why the LGBT community has pride, because pride is a protest against oppression. Kayong mga straight, you have to be thankful na you don't need to march, na you don't need to protest, kasi kayo nga yung quote-unquote na normal. So you have to be thankful na hindi kayo naaape on the basis of your gender. Na hindi kayo, bakit? Tinakwil ba kayo? Meron ba sa inyo ang tinakwil ng pamilya kasi straight? Meron ba sa inyo na hindi pinayagang mag-enroll dahil straight? Meron ba sa inyo yung binuli dahil straight? Meron ba sa inyo yung na-discriminate dahil straight? Meron ba sa inyo yung binugbog ng tatay dahil straight? If that happens to you, maybe you can have your own straight month or straight march, but it doesn't happen to you. So be thankful. Second, na gusto kong i-point out is trans women are women. Trans men are men. There's no other thing to argue about that. They are trans women are women, trans men are men. It doesn't make them any less of a woman or a man. Number three, um, number three, you don't impose na parang halimbawa may nakita ka, ay tingin ko ano yan, tingin ko bakla yan, ganito. You can't judge because you don't know anything at all. Nakita mo lang eh. You have insufficient information and then you conclude a judgment. That's not fair. And then next is the LGBT community is fighting for equality kasi basically hindi naman nga equal yung treatment. Yung for example, in the aspect of unions or marriages kasi yung mga straight nakakapag-marry kayo or nakakapag-union kayo pero yung mga LGBT hindi nila magawa. If the LGBT community is asking for discounts on taxes or tax exemptions or something like that, yun ang special treatment. But if ang hinihingi nila is kaparehas lang sa inyo, you don't say na they're asking for too much, di ba? And then next is LGBT rights are human rights. LGBT people are human beings too. Ngayon, if you are religious, if you believe in a God, if you read the Bible, malalaman mo dun siguro na lahat tayo makasalanan. So, it doesn't make you any cleaner, it doesn't make you holier, it doesn't make you purer if you're straight. Okay? Next, going to religion, again, we're in religion. If you're going to say that the Bible says this, says that, you will recall that merong isang story sa Bible na nung merong isang babae na nag-commit ng adultery, di ba, she'll be killed, death by stoning. Ano sabi ni Jesus Christ? Kung sino yung walang kasalanan, siya yung maunang magbato.
Yes.
Yon. So, keep that in mind. Also, put into consideration na bakit kung totoo nga talagang nabuhay si Hesus Kristo sa planetang ito or sa mundong ito, who did Jesus Christ help? Who did Jesus Christ spend his time with? He spent his time with the oppressed, yung mga naaape, yung mga naagrabyado. That is who Jesus Christ spent his time with. And when Jesus Christ died on the cross, he did not say that I will only save the straight people. Di ba namatay si Jesus Christ for the salvation of the entire human race? God gave his only son. And he didn't say na I'm giving my only son for the straight people. Walang ganun sa Bible. Walang ganun, Mars. And so you don't use religion to justify hate. Kasi if Jesus were alive, and if Jesus were truly alive, he wants inclusivity. Hindi siya hindi nga nagmamataas yung Panginoon tapos ikaw feeling mo galing-galing mo. And lastly, when we're talking about yung tanong mo about yung mga hindi pa makapag-out and all, if you are not yet out, don't force yourself to go out. It's you come out on your own time. I don't want to call it coming out because I think it should be like, letting people in kasi you're like that. Alam mo yun, kapag hindi ka pa ready mag-come out, wag mong pilitin. You do it at your own time kasi your life depends on it. Your future will depend on it. How people will see you will depend on it. Tapos, if ikaw, alam mo yung halimbawa, yung kaibigan mo, or may isang tao na alam mo na bakla siya, or tomboy siya, or hindi siya straight, basically, at hindi siya out, wag mo siyang i-out. Wag mong pagkakalat. Kasi it's not your story to tell. If you have a friend who is not out, pero inaamin niya sa'yo yung totoong siya, pinagkatiwalaan kaya. So you don't out the person. You let the person do that for themselves. Kasi that's their story to tell, not yours. Again, sinabi mo rin kanina sa akin, Byron, na it all boils down to respect. You have to respect because tao din naman to di ba? So, if you can't be, anong tawag dito? The least you can do is to respect and to be human. Kasi tao din naman yan eh. The thing is, kapag ikaw yung nasa posisyon ng tao yun, tapos sa'yo ginawa yung mga nararanasan niyang masasama, would you like it? Of course you won't, di ba? So I think that's basically the essence of what we just discussed. Na you just have to respect and you just have to be kind. Kasi alam mo, this world is already filled with so much cruelty and evil. Kaya wag na lang dumagdag, di ba?
All right. So thank you so much, Justin Dizon. You know what?
You're
Ang dami
welcome.
kong
Thank
gustong
you.
i-share. No,
Yeah.
ang dami kong gustong i-share sa'yo. Unfortunately, sa nakikita ko sa isang phone ko na pinapanood ko yung live natin, sobrang bagal ng net ko sa mismong live. So,
Yeah.
maybe I can call you after this. Feeling ko mabilis sa Messenger. Let's talk chikahan siguro mga kahit ilang minutes lang
Yeah. Why not?
about sa ano. Because I'm really enjoying about this topic. I'm really enjoying talking to you because you are so opinionated. Okay?
Yeah.
So, all right. We'll we'll end it here. Magchikahan tayo later. All right? So,
Of course.
thank you so much, Justin
It's
Dizon.
my pleasure. Thank you
Wait
very
mo ako
much.
later. I'll just say my extra, okay?
I'll go. Go for it.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
All right. So, nakausap po natin si Justin Dizon. Marami po akong gustong sabihin, but unfortunately, I don't have a good net. Hello, Converge. Hindi, ang dami, eto pa man din yung gusto kong ilabas, yung mga opinions ko. And we'll just siguro i-resched ulit si Justin Dizon sa live ko dito sa What's Poppin' Kabalen of BJ Bontogon. Dito lamang po sa page ko na BJ Bontogon. Anyhow, I enjoyed it so much. Sorry po for the inconvenience because of my poor internet connection. And sana, yung mga, actually, I can read some comments like Ate Riza Vino Dakanay, at Malili, Ami Perez, and some of the ano, viewers na nanonood sa ano natin. Uh, Thank you so much for watching my live. I'll make bawi siguro sa susunod na araw next Saturday about sa internet connection. I will check about this one. And I just want to say na say it clear, say it loud. Gay is good, gay is proud. So, I would like to congratulate LGBTQ community and I just want to say happy Pride to all. So, pasibayo po, good evening everyone, stay safe, and I love you all. Bye! Thank you for watching guys. Thank you so much.